Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today we're talking Star Wars Armada. We're talking double ISD, and we are going to create a list sort of inspired by the 2025 World's Champion Jason Hewley, his double ISD list. He ran two ISDs. He ran Squadronless, and I thought it was a really fun build. He had a lot of really cool stuff on here. He had Chimera, he had extra turning, he had turning like crazy, he had Jerjerrod, he had two Gazantis in there as well, and a lot of really cool stuff that just made this a really strong fleet, made it surprising as the winner, because usually you don't see a squadronless fleet do consistently that well. They can potentially dominate until they hit a roadblock, and this is the fleet that just managed to rise above all the rest. And it made me kind of want to fly something kind of like that, but I didn't want to run the exact same thing. And I thought there were some changes that I could make to make it fit my playstyle a little bit more and have a little more risks. But still give off some of that fun factor, because what I think is great about this fleet are two different things. One is going squadronless. It's super gutsy, it's super risky, and it also allows for faster play, which means fun. Which brings me to point two, fun. Having tremendous maneuverability on some Imperial Star Destroyers is also a very fun thing, because they're a fast ship, they're a large ship, and they have a little bit of yaw. So they already have a little bit of maneuverability, but giving them even more is a really fun and cool, groovy thing to do. And I thought maybe I could borrow some of these concepts to come up with my own version of a fleet like this. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment on this or one of my videos. That'll automatically enter you to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway that's running right now. And if you don't win this one, by the way, we do new giveaways all the time. So there's still, this one's running through next week, so we still have plenty of time left to enter to win that giveaway. Let's go ahead and jump into the list creation, because we're going to be using Ryan Kingston's Fleet Builder and having some fun with this one. So as far as the Star Destroyers that we're going to add, I am going to keep them ISD2s. There are a couple of reasons for this, primarily the upgrade slots, but ISD2 is fun. I do love the Simoon, and I think the Simoon fits really well. It would do a lot of things, but the Simoon doesn't have the defensive retrofit, and then you have to do other things. Simoon is problematic, and I just thought ISD2s would be clean. It would make sure I had the upgrades that I wanted to run. It would be overall well. It'd have pretty good flak against squadrons. It's just a lot of good things. Probably not flacking squadrons too much. But what we're going to do is we're going to run Jerjerrod. This one is an auto include because he's kind of the core of the build. There's a couple of other ways to run this. If I was copying the world's list, one of the things that I would do is I would have take evasive action on here, so we have even more yaw. Not doing that in this case. I'm not running Chimera at all. I'm not running any fleet commands. That's a big difference. That's another one of the reasons why I don't necessarily need the Simoon. If I was doing this one, I might consider running a Simoon instead and forfeiting and keeping it in the back. But the other reason, which kind of leads to another reason why I wanted ISD2s, is because I want PDICs. If I'm going to run Squadronless, I'm going to run up against squadrons. Those squadrons are going to want to attack my Star Destroyers. I need the best defense in the game. It's that infinite PDIC, and it's a beautiful thing. For Turbo Laser, I'm going to give these guys XI7s. For defensive retrofit, of course, I'm going to go with the fairly obvious electronic countermeasures, and we're also going to run boarding troopers on both of these. And there's a combo that I want to run with, so I'm going to run two of these. And that's all the upgrades that I'm running at this time, because I want points for other things. Now, I'm not going to run two Gazantis with this list, and that's why I left a couple of upgrade slots empty, because instead of two Gazantis, I'm going to run just one Gazanti. And he'll have comms net, so he's just going to be just a token guy. He's not doing too much else. He's an activation. I want a raider. I want another shooting ship. That's my ideas. I want another ship that can throw some dice. That can also be, just like a Gazanti, can be, a small ship that can activate and Can do things. It can be fast if I need a fast ship. Is it fast enough that we can fly away? We got to make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. All right. Anyway, never mind. Moving on from my bad jokes. I want to go with a Raider 2, and I want to do this Overload Pulse Raider 2. And then once I get this all built, I'll tell you the idea for it. Overload Pulse being the key. We are going to run disposable capacitors on this so we can hit those blue dice at long range. Raider 2 is pretty good for this. It is a little bit survivable at long range with double evades and a brace. Not a whole lot of shields in hull, but hopefully it can survive. And if we're going to pop disposable capacitors, we'll have concentrate fire queued up that turn. We'll have gunnery team enabled to be able to throw blue dice on multiple ships, maybe overload both of them. In the perfect scenario, what we would have is this Raider kind of coming in from an angle where both my ISDs are about to move in, and the Raider is able to go first. He shoots, pops decaps, concentrate fire, gunnery team, and rolls 3 blue dice, and then a 4th blue die on the first ship. Maybe I get that crit, overload pulse, exhaust all their defense tokens. Have another ship, maybe I'm lucky enough to get a crit on the second ship, boom, spend all of their defense tokens as well. That's beautiful. And here's when the magic kicks in. Turn 1, these ISDs are doing squadron, make sure they have a squadron token to trigger boarding troopers. If they happen to also be close enough to that same enemy ship that or ships that the Raider 2 just fired into, now they can pop boarding troopers and spend 4 tokens that are already exhausted from overload pulse, and all of a sudden now you don't just have exhausted defense tokens. You have no defense tokens. All your defense tokens are gone. They're all gone. Kaput, patui, spagalushta. Spagalushta. Hashtag spagalushta. I don't know how you spell that. I just made it up. That's the idea. We can call this the spagalushta build. So that is the plan. In order to make that happen, I'm going to put one more upgrade on here. That's going to be the Corvus title. It allows me to deploy this guy wherever I want. I can fake out my first deployment. But it allows me to kind of set him up to where he's coming at an angle to facilitate that shot. And if I go up against an objective that I need, something different, I can then use him as a fast objective hunter and fly around and pick up tokens and do that sort of stuff as well. So I like the fact that the Raider 2 is there. You can do stuff. I still have a Gazanti to pass tokens around, and all of that. I still have 4 activations. I still have the maneuverability that Gergerod is going to give me. I still have all of that. It will cost me some shields, but I can always get shields back with engineering tokens that the Gazanti is passing around. Probably going to want to have engineering tokens on both of these ships anyway, in case when they do start getting fired, I have to pop ECM. Having those engineering tokens is also going to work. PDIC is going to help. Again, I want to fly these guys at speed 3 directly into my opponent's faces. I'm going to be very effective once I get into at least medium range, but also pretty good at close range too, because I have that PDIC to protect against some of those close range die rolls. And this also is mitigation against squadrons. It's not a foolproof list. It's still risky in the best of circumstances, but it's pretty fun. Now for objectives are we're going to put advanced gunnery on here because my Star Destroyers are using boarding troopers. I don't have gunnery teams on these guys, and that's okay. That's okay to not have gunnery teams. So they have good side arcs. If I can double RQ2, that's great. Advanced gunnery is pretty cool in here. I don't think anybody's going to give me that. For yellow, we're going to go with fleet ambush. I don't have any squadrons. Fleet ambush is a great one when you're running squadronless because it lets your opponent's squadron deployment advantage vanish. And also, as fast as I'm going, whatever ships the at least 2 ships your opponent probably puts in that deployment zone, I'm going to be on them really, really quick. And then for navigation, I'm going with what I haven't chosen in a while. I'm going with dangerous territory because, again, I want to fly fast and furious and loose. And if somebody picks that one, yeah, they may have a Jaina's Light out there. Jaina's Light is popular. It's a popular title. Got a little more expensive, so maybe it's not being run as often. But even so, even without the objectives, just the ability to just overlap obstacles all game long and ignore the negative effects of it, I think is easily worth it. Especially with 2 ISDs that want to be navving and doing crazy stuff. They can land on those obstacles all they want, so I love it. I love it. So that's what we're running for these. And that is the list. It's not the most intense list out there, but I think it's going to be a fun one. There's some loopholes. There's some weaknesses, right? Obviously, not having squadrons is a weakness. Obviously, that's a big weakness. But I think we have tools to deal with it. We have 2 ships that have decent flak. We've got PDICs. If need be, the Raider has decent flak as well, which is kind of cool. Expect the Raider to die fairly quick, though. But maybe not. If I can line it up right and it can attack from safety, then maybe it'll be fine. I expect to lose probably 1 Star Destroyer. I don't have all of the defensive tech. I don't have everything. But I do have a 2-point bid, which is also a little more than I typically run. If this was like the older points, I could have fit a 1-point Vader on the fleet and then like a 1-point officer. I might even drop Commsnet, or something like that to force Vader and some skilled first officers or something along those lines. There's definitely ways that you could improve this. There's other things that we could do. We could add titles and things like that. But I'm comfortable with having a 2-point bid. That's actually going to let me have some choice a little more often than not. And there we go. So that's the list. I think it's fun. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. And I think it's a groovy fun list to play. We still have plenty of turning ability, plenty of ability to get close, have a little bit of survivability, a little bit of offense, a lot of let's exhaust all your defensive tokens from multiple sources, and we also have a Raider that can throw some decent firepower. And if I throw my ISDs in your face and you have a choice, do I fire on this Raider that might be at long range, or do I fire at the ISD that's at close range that has PDICs locked and loaded? Love to give my opponent those kind of difficult choices, and I think it'd be a really fun one to see how it plays out. Maybe stay tuned for a battle report with a fleet just like this. Patrons, you have one up and ready to go on Patreon right now if you're at the A-Wing level or higher. If that's something that you're interested in, check the links in the video description below. That'll do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. And always wash your socks.